Hello, this is Keith, welcoming you to the Enfield Talking newspaper. The readers this week are Janet, Sally, Colin and Keith, with Robin on the controls. The editor was Janet and the production and distribution team is Alan, Ali and Phillip. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Ferdinand Bouillon and Harry Breur, and performed by Jean-Jacques Perry. It's used with his kind permission. The local news stories that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. The events information has been collated by us from other sources. The local news headlines this week include drug dealing trio sent to jail. First, a note about the annual general meeting of the Enfield Talking newspaper, which will take place at St Andrew's Church Hall, Enfield, on Monday the 24th of July at 7:30 p.m. All are welcome to attend. Now, we've been asked by Alison from Enfield Council to read out the following regarding the project taking place in Ponders End, and it's regarding High Street improvements and road closures. Enfield Council is making a huge investment in Ponders End to make it a better place to live, work and visit. To enable this, we will be closing off the junction of Ponders End High Street, Derby Road, Lincoln Road and South Street for a 6-week period starting from the 24th of July. The road closure will ensure that the works are carried out swiftly, safely, and there will be temporary on-street parking restrictions. We are looking to provide replacement spaces. All businesses will remain open during the period. There may be some changes to waste collections. If you want more detailed information, please look at the Enfield Council website. Now, there's some new audio descriptions at the Tate Modern. Join us for a special series of artist-led tours of the Tate Modern collection for blind and partially sighted visitors. These are led by practicing artists, and we will use audio descriptions, raised images, handling objects and group discussion to discover new artworks and ideas. The first one is on Wednesday the 26th of July with Sally Booth, and on Wednesday the 23rd of August with Aaron McPeak. Touching between object and architecture. Connect with objects and architecture and think about the spaces we inhabit and the materials that surround us. Based in the display between object and architecture, this audio description tour will use hepatic aids and handling objects to help describe the works within the room. All tours are from 1600 hours to 1730. Please join us in the community room from 15:30 hours for tea and cake. To find us, please come to the Blavatnik entrance. I'll spell that. It's Blavatnik, the Blavatnik entrance on the south side of the building off Sumner Street. Please contact Anna Murray, Assistant Curator. Her website is anna.murray, MURRAY, at tate.org.uk, or you can phone her on 020 7887 8888. Now, Janet will give you some travel information.
Getting there. The address is Tate Modern, Bankside, London, SE1 9TG. By car, you can book an accessible parking space if required. Please remember you need to book your space before coming. For more information, please visit our website or telephone 020 7887 8888. By taxi, a drop-off pickup point is situated on Holland Street. Buses, routes 45, 63 and 100 stop on Blackfriars Bridge Road. RV1 and 381 south exit. Train 800 metres from the north exit. London Bridge 1,800 metres. By boat, the Tate boat runs every 40 minutes between Tate Britain and Tate Modern. Other river services run between Millbank Pier and Bankside Pier. Do get in touch with us to share your own news and special announcements. We love to hear from you. If you have any comments about the Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 0208 805 6578. She is your listener's representative and she will be pleased to help you. Now Sally will read the first item of local.
Ermel Tito, Elton Kanani and Ari Kurdi were sentenced at Wood Green Crown Court on Friday the 30th of June. Of Gainsborough House, Ailey Croft, Enfield, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of possession with intent to supply and possession of criminal property and was jailed for 9 years and 4 months. Ardy Kurdi, aged 31, of Lexington Place, Kingston upon Thames, was charged with possession with intent to supply drugs, possession of criminal property, and production of cannabis. He pleaded guilty and was jailed for 5 years. The 3 men were also subject to confiscation orders. Kanani was arrested on April the 26th after officers from the Met's Organised Crime Command observed an exchange with street value of up to £400,000 and arrested him for possession of Class A drugs. 2 kilograms of cocaine worth up to £199,000 were recovered during a search of Kanani's home in Chingford. He was charged with possession with intent to supply. On May the 18th, officers observed £50,000 of cash. He was arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of supplying drugs and possession of criminal property. Police also found a similar compartment in Kurdi's car containing 2 kilograms of cocaine worth up to £199,000. They also found £3,000 worth of cash and arrested Kurdi for possession of criminal property and later for the possession with intent to supply drugs. These men went to great lengths to adapt their vehicles in an attempt to avoid detection, and officers recovered a large amount of Class A drugs, which is now off the streets and cannot do damage to communities.
Attack on a vulnerable 79-year-old woman neighbour with dementia as he burgled her home was jailed for 20 years. The victim was found in a distressed state with a plastic tape ligature around her neck. She suffered 2 loose teeth, bruising to her entire face and grazes to her right elbow. Because of her dementia, when she was taken to hospital, she recalled nothing of the incident and believed she was there for a checkup. Terence Rocks, 52, of Priors Mead, was sent to prison for 20 years for attempted grievous bodily harm and 5 years for burglary, the sentences to run concurrently. The crime has been described by the detective who investigated it as one of the most shocking he has dealt with. Constable Joel Gregory from Enfield's Major Crime Unit said he was pleased Rocks had received a lengthy jail term which reflected the heinous nature of his crime. Throughout the court process, he has refused to admit his guilt, creating a series of lies in an attempt to cover up his actions. This was one of the most shocking attacks on a vulnerable person that I have seen during my time in the police. Thankfully, the victim did not sustain any long-term injuries. As a result of her dementia, the victim remembers nothing of what she was subjected to. Thanks to the assistance of the victim's neighbour, at 11:59 a.m. on Saturday, March the 4th this year, officers found her covered in blood with tape tightly wrapped around her neck. She was able to name her attacker. Blood on his hands was later shown through DNA tests as belonging to the victim, along with blood on other items of his clothing. Officers who searched Rocks found other stolen items from the victim's address in his pockets. Inquiries revealed he had entered the victim's address via a communal hallway and then the front door at about 11:30 a.m.
Knife bin yields haul of weapons, including axe, after a search of our dedicated knife drop bin in Edmonton Police Station. The bin stands in the front office in Edmonton Police Station in 4 Street in a bid to persuade youngsters carrying blades to get rid of them, anonymously if necessary. The Met's Sceptre operation urged people to give up their knives across the capital to help save lives. The knife bin is still situated in the station office, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to deposit knives. Every school in London will be offered a metal detecting wand as part of new plans to reduce knife crime. New community sentences will be introduced for those convicted of knife possession, while an extra £625,000 has been pledged for knife crime projects. Mr. Khan said the strategy. She said, "We all know the horrific consequences of knife crime here in Enfield, and we are all working to stop young people carrying knives." Having discussed these issues directly with Sadiq Khan in Enfield and at City Hall, and I'll be working alongside Sadiq, local residents and community groups, as well as the police, to help put this strategy into action. Instead of dragging its feet on this issue, the government needs to buck up its ideas, support the Mayor's plan, and reverse the cuts to our youth services and police to help keep our neighbourhoods safe.
Rajasthani, 51, was born deaf with Usher's syndrome, a hereditary disease which can cause further hearing and loss. Weekly Braille sessions were provided with help from a £5,000 Santander Discovery Grant, which was awarded to Enfield Disability Action's Deaf Project in partnership with Enfield Vision. Rajasthani started learning Braille for an hour each week from January to May with tutor Diane de Jersey, chairwoman of Enfield Vision, and Simone Rickard, both from Enfield Disability Action. After this was established, Diane started teaching her to read the alphabet from A to J on blocks containing each Braille letter. Diane gave a verbal instruction to Rajasthani's daughter or brother-in-law on the letter she was feeling, and this would be communicated to her through hands-on signing. Rajasthani also tested on the words and replied by making a noise through her mouth, which Diane understood, or by relaying the answer through hands-on signing with her family. In just 5 months, she had learnt Stage 1 in Braille, a remarkable achievement, which has given her some independence so she can label food at home, colour coordinate clothes, and eventually learn to read books in Braille. Hopefully, the sky's the limit, added brother-in-law Steve.
Cladding safety checks. 5 Enfield Council-owned tower blocks covered with cladding are to undergo a further round of fire safety checks. Despite none of Enfield's 54 high-rise blocks were found to be covered with the same material as that of Grenfell Tower, the additional in-depth checks have been deemed necessary. Following the completion of the initial inspection and audit, a council spokesman said, "It has been more than a fortnight since the terrible fire at Grenfell Tower, and like you, we are still coming to terms with the enormity of the tragedy. The well-being of our residents is always our number one priority, and since the terrible events in Kensington, we have been working tirelessly to confirm that our tower blocks are safe. These inspections complemented our programme of annual fire risk assessments and were in addition to the checks our caretakers do to every tower block every day to ensure any issues are addressed promptly. No Enfield Council tower block has the type of cladding used on Grenfell Tower or contains aluminium composite material as per the cladding currently being tested by the government for fire safety."
Star pubs and bars, part of Heineken, want to redevelop the Fox in the heart of Palmer's Green, and held a public consultation in the historic Boozer. The drawings remain sympathetic to the original building, which is a distinctive landmark dating back to the 1800s. As well as updating the dilapidated pub, the developers want to convert the sprawling car park into flats with a high-quality. Talkies and the Vintage Blues Music Association regularly attract crowds of more than 100. David Williamson, founder of the Talkies Community Cinema, said he had yet to see the detailed plans. John Gilbert, head of estates at Star Pubs and Bars, said, "We are excited to come forward with plans that protect, to significantly invest in the Fox, to refurbish the pub building and improve the pub's offer." Over the past 9 months, we have been in discussion with a wide range of residents and groups to better understand the local aspirations for the pub. The original pub that featured in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban stands on the corner of. Mr. Gilbert added, "We are passionate supporters of the Great British Pub and believe that vibrant pubs are places where people of all ages and backgrounds can come together. The Fox's status as an asset of community value demonstrates its importance to the residents of Palmer's Green. As part of the proposals, a new function room will be provided. Following the public consultation, there will be a feedback period during which the development team will evaluate all comments received before plans are finalised and a planning proposal submitted to the council. The pub became the first in Enfield to be named an asset of community value in 2015 after an application, which means it has added protection from development.
Prison sentence for Islamophobic assault on teen. Thug slapped young woman in face. Shocking mobile phone footage of a race-hate thug slapping a Muslim teenage girl in the face with an open packet of bacon in an Islamophobic attack in Enfield has been released by police. The teenage victim was walking along Hertford Road with her mother at about 4:40 p.m. on Thursday, June the 8th. Friends of Chivers were present at the time of the attack, and one of them filmed it on his mobile phone. The video can be seen on the Advertiser's website at www.enfield-today.co.uk. The victim religiously aggravated alarm or distress. He pleaded guilty and was bailed to return to court for sentencing. Chivers was also ordered to pay a £115 victim surcharge and complete a 12-month supervision order when he is released on licence. Detective Constable James Payne from Enfield Community Safety Unit said, "Inquiries are ongoing to trace these people, and if you have any information that may assist in identifying them, please contact the Community Safety Unit at Enfield via 101. The Community Safety Unit here in Enfield encourages all victims of hate crime to contact police so that the culprits can be identified."
Chapter may close on wonky church Lichgate, a much-loved landmark that for a century has been the gateway for worshippers attending a church desperately needs to be restored, and now an appeal has been launched. Lichgate in St John's Church, Clay Hill, will cost around £41,000 to repair. The gate was built at the Inns. For 100 years, it has served to commemorate the 88 parishioners who lost their lives in the 1914 to 1918 conflict. But now, the two large oak beams, of which the main frame is made, are now at a decidedly wonky angle. Framework joints were repairable, but its increasing tilt was not so. So the diocese instructed the gate to be taken down for safety. Blessed Lichgate in July 1930.
Pupils go the extra mile in healthy competition. Heartline project was borough-wide. An innovative project encouraging primary school children to become more active has won a council-led borough-wide competition for coming up with the most interesting ideas. Chesterfield School won first prize with their unique heart line, a red line painted round the edge 1/10 of a mile in length. Each pupil does 10 laps of the line, the equivalent of 1 mile. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Community Safety and Public Health, Councillor Crystal Fonyonga, said, "This was a fantastic competition which challenged primary schools to find new, interesting and innovative ways of encouraging pupils to be more active. This competition forms part of our Move More campaign, which looks at ways of encouraging residents of all ages. Creative Chesterfield school teachers also incorporate classroom workouts into their lessons." The school was rewarded with a visit to Enfield's Jump In trampoline park as their prize. Hazelwood School Palmers Green came second for their commitment to playing break-time games and employing a specialist physical exercise teacher to increase the range of sports available. Worcester School Enfield came third with their idea of encouraging pupils to record and report activity they did during
Happy Nadine with a £10,000 cheque. Parents know all about pester power, and one Edmonton mum, who could no longer stand the relentless nagging from one of her children, found herself £10,000 richer. Nadine Mahout, who was badgered by her football-mad 10-year-old son Kea, after he heard them, he just wouldn't stop going on about it and pestering me to play the game. Eventually he wore me down, and what a good job he did. The 38-year-old mum of two, an avid Tottenham Hotspur fan like her son, Nadine said she was almost speechless when she found out she had won £10,000. "I've never won anything before," she said. "I was in complete shock." She is planning to spend the cash and renovating the garden.
A frustrating day for Winchmore Hill saw them have to settle for a winning draw from their trip to Uxbridge in Division 3 of the Kingspan Middlesex County Cricket League. Inform Hill completely dominated the match, but were just unable to take the final wicket. Abbas Eas made 52 as Uxbridge's reply got off to a good start, but they fell away badly in the face of some fine bowling, Jack Henson and Gatting, and only a defiant 22 not out of 74 balls from Dheeraj Kula enabled them to avoid defeat. Meanwhile, Enfield remains second in Division 2, despite slumping to a shock 14-run defeat at lowly North London. Dan Ahmadi and Lee Robertson did well with the ball for the visitors, as North London were dismissed for a seemingly below impact with the bat for Enfield, and an alarming collapse saw their last 6 wickets fall for the addition of just 19 runs as they were bowled out for 157. And Southgate are still rooted to the foot of the Premier Division, following their 6-wicket defeat at home to Hampstead. Michael Stevens top scoring with 36, as they were bowled out for just 145 before the visitors eased to 146 for 4 in reply.
Prince meets pupils during school visit. It's not every day you get to meet a real prince in the flesh, but that's just what happened to pupils at an Edmonton primary school. Prince Andrew met and chatted with youngsters on a visit to Meridian Angel School in Albany Road. The Duke of York was there to see the Church of England School's new modern building, which it moved into in January, to accommodate more pupils and provide state-of-the-art facilities. The Prince toured the building, met teachers and spoke with pupils in years 2 and 5. He also addressed a school assembly and unveiled a plaque commemorating his visit to Hamilton, Archdeacon of Hampstead the Venerable John Hawkins, and other representatives of the Diocese of London, the Department for Education, the Education Funding Agency, and a number of head teachers. The school opened in 2014 and was originally located in Temple, UK. the £3.5 billion Meridian Water development, which is providing 10,000 new homes and workspace on a former waterfront industrial site. We were really pleased to be able to welcome Prince Andrew to our school. Excited to meet and speak with him, and I hope he enjoyed the tour of our new classrooms and facilities, which show how far our school has come in such a short space of time. The Archdeacon of Hampstead said that the school's Christian ethos had been built to transform the lives of all children and this community. It is here open and welcoming to those families who will become part of the new community being created in Meridian Water.
Glee Club winners make a right song and dance of it. Youngsters celebrated success after being crowned the borough's top performers at a singing and dancing competition in the West End. Pupils from Woodpecker Hall Primary Academy in Nightingale Road and Glee at the Piccadilly Theatre. The competition was organised by the Edmonton Schools Partnership, which works together to raise aspirations and provide opportunities for children in the area. The partnership commissioned Pineapple Performing Arts to deliver weekly glee clubs based on the music and singing from the American hit series Glee. Youngsters were outstanding vocal performances on the night, and 2 lucky pupils won scholarships at the prestigious Performing Arts School Pineapple Dance Studios in Covent Garden. More than 400 parents, teachers and pupils attended a special school assembly to congratulate the youngsters, who were presented with a gold trophy by head teacher David Penkert. Pupils from the school's Glee Club performed a selection of their winning songs, including Best Day of My Life by American authors. I'm extraordinarily proud of the children, said Mr. Penkert. They have brought tremendous credit to the school and to themselves with their talent and the sheer hard work.
According to analysis Ombudsman Services carried out in 2016, there were 344 energy and communications complaints that year from people in Enfield. Not far behind the Enfield public in the complaint stakes were those of neighbouring borough Harringay, independent and impartial, and resolves disputes outside of courts at no cost to the consumer. For more information, visit Ombudsman Services at www.ombudsman-services.org.
Explorer sets off on a trek to champion our green capital, part of National Park City campaign. An intrepid explorer has gone on a trek through donning walking boots. Former geography teacher Daniel Raven Ellison, 37, set off from Enfield Island Village with the aim of walking across all 32 boroughs, a total of 311 miles, with the finish line in Temple for children to connect with nature. Borough councillors and community project leaders are walking with Daniel at various points along the route, and London Mayor Sadiq Khan has also given his support. The support of 86 more ward teams is needed. The great thing is that anyone can be part of it. Just plant something or explore somewhere new. London is home to 4 World Heritage Sites, 3,000 parks, 30 of wildlife from foxes to peregrine falcons to keep a sharp eye out for. Through the campaign, Daniel wants to make life healthier and more enjoyable to Londoners.
Creative Hub opens. If you're feeling blue, you can now head to a brand new Creative Hub to give yourself a buzz. Launching of Wood Green's new creative workspace, Blue House Yard, on Wednesday, June the 28th. Community dignitaries mingled with musicians, storytellers, artists and so on at the renovated site, which is just 5 minutes walk from Wood Green Underground Station. Councillor Joe Goldberg, Cabinet Member for Economic Development, Social Inclusion and Sustainability, attended the launch. He said of Wood Green is, "It's a celebration of Wood Green's creative spirit, which remains authentically London. Blue House Yard is a unique, lively London destination where we can enjoy the talents of local people and their businesses. We have big plans for Wood Green, and Blue House Yard is another step forward, delivering the ambitious changes for our residents and what they have asked for. Singer-songwriters launch and will be based at Blue House Yard. Eden said, "This has given us an opportunity to develop our careers, but also to integrate with the community, which we love so much. Being from Wood Green, the development of the area is something we want to be part of. It's a cultural melting pot, and Blue House Yard exemplifies what can happen when culture and art come together."
Gina Ferreri opened her doors in the ground floor of her home to pupils aged between 2 and 5 years old in Morley Hill, Enfield, 30 years ago. Gina said the nursery school has been part of the community in Enfield for 3 decades, and the celebration was greatly enjoyed by everyone. "I have so many favourite memories. We are very privileged to work with the children at this wonderful time of their lives. Listening to the children sing in unison, watching them grow in independence, being forever surprised at the children's inventiveness, their refreshing perspectives and their great sense of wonder." A 3-year-old asked, "How do we think and dream?" She added how nursery team have been with the school for many years and are truly thoughtful, mindful to notice, to make note and effect change as we strive to further understand what works for each of the children in our setting. There have been challenges to overcome over the 30 years life of Gina's Montessori school.
Retirement home fate. A TV and radio presenter, writer and actor who is a musician to boot, lit up the room at a retirement home's summer fete. Mr. Rivron arrived at the Paddock Meadow Drive in Muswell Hill to entertain residents and staff at a tea party and open day and members of the community. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if there is anything I can do for you.
Another sporting item, Boss happy with squad. New Enfield Town manager Andy Leese has revealed that he is delighted with the way the squad is shaping up following another busy few days of transfer activity for the club. The past 2 weeks have seen Leese secure the services of a number of new faces, with experienced striker Drew Roberts, forward Ryan Blake and midfielder Sam Youngs arriving at the Queen Elizabeth Stadium. The trio all played under Leese at Chesham United, with the pacey Blake having joined them in the summer of 2014, scoring more than 20 goals during his first season with the Southern League Premier Division club. He then hit the national headlines by scoring the winner in Chesham's memorable victory at Bristol Rovers in the first round of the 2015-16 FA Cup. And he also found the net at the same stage of the competition against Peterborough United last season. The midfielder has had 3 spells at rugby and has also played for Hemel Hempstead, Banbury, Ware and Hales Owen during his career. Secured some of the players I wanted to sign, Lee said. "I'm really pleased, and I think the squad is probably coming together better than I'd anticipated. There is some good quality here. I'm delighted Drew has agreed to join us. He's scored goals regularly at every level he has played at, and his consistency will give us a real threat in attack. He also has a fine work ethic, which Darren Pearce, the assistant manager, Lees and Pearce answer questions from supporters at a fans forum, and the manager was pleased with how the event went. "I was taken aback by how many people were there," he said. "I always knew this club had great support, and that just confirmed it. It was a really good night. There was generally a good atmosphere, and we were able to set out what we wanted to say and answer some very well thought out questions."
Now here's a letter from Matthew Reed, the Chief Executive of the Children's Society, and it's headed Help Needy Children. Every day, thousands of young people across London are helped to improve their lives by work with young people affected by issues such as abuse, hardship and neglect. The Children's Society volunteers, campaigners and supporters make an enormous difference by supporting young people directly in our projects, helping in our shops, raising funds and awareness of our work. If you would like to get involved, visit childrenssociety.org.uk/volunteer or call 0300.
No cameras on board. Police officers in Enfield will now be going out on patrol with body-worn video, BWV, cameras. BWV is being issued to about 560 frontline officers and community support officers in the borough. Additional cameras will also be available in apartments. The camera is attached to an officer's uniform on the chest to capture video and audio evidence in order to support vulnerable victims, help secure convictions in court, and increase transparency around police activity. It's part of London's investment in the new technology, with 22,000 cameras being deployed. Sergeant Doug Skinner said, "Body-worn video will be an invaluable tool for frontline officers and will make Enfield safer. The footage it captures at a scene will provide a compelling addition to the evidence we are able to present at court. Communities in Enfield should have increased confidence in our enhanced ability to support victims of crime, correctly record criminal behaviour and its consequences. When the camera is recording, it is highly visible, with a flashing red circle in the centre and a frequent bleeping noise when it is activated. Members of the public are told as soon as it is practical that they are being recorded. All footage recorded on BWV is subject to legal safeguards and guidance."
10 fire engines and 72 firefighters from Edmonton and surrounding stations fought the blaze in Thornton Road, Edmonton, on Saturday evening, June the 24th. The fire had been extinguished by 2:19 a.m. on Sunday morning. The cause of the incident is not yet known.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. Just a reminder that the annual general meeting of July at 7:30 p.m. You are all welcome to attend. So from the team of Janet, Sally, Colin and Keith and Robin on the controls, it's goodbye. Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, close the memory stick and put it into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in connection with Enfield Talking Newspaper on 020 8805 6578. Coming up next, the latest news and information for the Greater London area from InfoSound.